What's going on, guys? This is Red Baron Gaming here. Welcome back to MenOfWar Assault Squad 2. This is a game that I like and enjoy because it is really good for realistic battles. And not only is that, but you can build your own maps as well. Now, this game is on Steam for $30. It may seem expensive, but when you get it, it's pretty enjoyable. I had this game for a year and I like it. And today I'm going to be showing you guys how to basically work this game if you do decide to get it, both in the F2 and F3 aspects. I will explain what those mean in just a second. First thing you'll see when you come into this game is you'll see just black nothingness and a small area with nothing in it. So first you want to press escape and you get this menu to choose save, save as, load, new, or exit. If you want to load a new map, just press load, multi, and then we'll load a random map like Fragtown. So we're going to go into Fragtown, and we should get this nice, really cool map. Load into Fragtown, and we get this nice, really cool map with an airfield, a bunch of fields, and then we get a small town. First, what we want to do is we want to go into F3 mode to spawn in entities, like troops, tanks, and all that. F2 mode is basically the mode that you would spawn props in. That's not really exciting at all. So we're just going to go to Human, then we're going to go to MP, and then we're going to choose what kind of man we want. We're going to do a few USA Rifleman, and then we're going to do German Rifleman. Now that we spawned them in, now we need to set players to them, because if we press start, nothing's going to happen because they can't see each other and they're on the same player, which is player 0. So what we're going to do is we're going to left click, hover over the men, then we're going to choose player 2 for the allies and player 1 for the access. And now they're not going to shoot each other still because they can't see each other. And we can't see them. If you want to do this, just simply be in F3 mode and then make sure your num lock is on. And then press the number you want on the numpad to choose the team you want, Germans or Americans. And it'll just keep switching back and forth until we stop. Well, until I stop. Now what we want to do is go to F1 mode. Just press F1. And then choose the numpad number which your team has been assigned. And then if we press start, they should start to attack each other. Awesome. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set a background for our battle. Well, how do you get to the background, you ask? You just simply press F6 on your keyboard, which is the default key, and then you have a bunch of these random presets. Well, these are all backgrounds, and I'm just going to pick a random one. Let's say English torch. That's a background. Now, all these parameters over here is how it works. So you have like the draw, sun, moon, the night, and then you have all this weird random stuff that I probably won't even care about. But when it comes into here in the haze is the fog, we should say. And when it starts, the fog kind of bumps up a little bit. And the end is basically the view range. So we're going to bump this back up, let's say like 2500. There. Now that's a perfect haze for our battle. Now, my camera's locking in and I can't zoom out. You want to fix that? Just go into F2 mode, then click clip camera position, make sure that's false. Then you can zoom out however far you want. Now back into F3 mode. Oh, my troops have disappeared. What do? I just simply click on the numpad key, and they should be there. All you simply have to do is just press the number on the numpad, which the team has been assigned, like that. And it'll just swap back and forth between them. Now, what we need to do here is we want to make our battle interesting, right? We have our background, we have our troops, but we need some important things like tanks and stuff like that. So if you want to build a tank, just close out of this over here and just go to Vehicle, Tank Light, or Tank Medium, or Heavy, and then we'll just spawn in some M3 Stewards. And then for the Germans, we'll spawn, let's say, some Panzer II Fs. Now, the tanks don't have crew with them, so what we need to do is close out of this, Tank Light, go back into Human, MP, go to the Germans, and then go to Tankmen. Then you just simply spawn next to the tank. And then same with the Americans. Do this, spawn some tankmen next to their tanks. You don't want mixed up country for different tanks. unless you're doing something. And these, I believe, take 4. Now, you see here, it has a red ring above the Americans. That's because it does that sometimes where you'll have like the same player as the Germans. All you need to do is just hover over them and then change their player. Now they're on the American side. And on these guys, they should be with the Germans, which are player 1. They are all red, which means now I can just go into numpad 1 in F1 mode. And then I get to put them in the tank. And yes, the troops do speak to you, which is really cool.
Verstanden. Jawohl.
Now that I put them into the tank, I'm going to do the same with the Americans.
Got it, sir.
Yes, sir. Got it, sir.
All I have to do is just left click, hover, and then right click on the tank to put them in. And if you want to move the tank facing this way, because you don't want your tank showing its side to the enemy tanks, that's just kind of stupid. You just left click on it, and then right click, and then drag the way you want it to face with your mouse. So I want it to face this way. Simply just left click on the tank, and then hover or right click on it and then hold down to face the way that you want it. Now on the German side, I'm going to do the exact same thing. Left click on the tank, right click to hold down, and then drag. Now this battle should be pretty big, and I don't know why they can't see them.
Verstanden.
Okay, now they see him. Now we're going to press start. And it looks like that Panzer II has exploded. That was just a test battle. We're going to build a battle even bigger than that. We're going to build a realistic battle from World War II on this exact same map. And how we're going to do it is, first I need to unclip that camera position there. Then I need you to go into here, and then all I have to do is left click, hover, and then press delete on the keyboard. Not backspace, but delete. It's on between the left and the right side of the keyboard. It's got these 6 different buttons. It'll say Del or something like that. Just press it, bam, all the troops are gone. Now we are going to build our realistic World War II battle. Now that I'm done building the battle between the Germans, which have Panzer IVs, and the Americans, which have M4 Shermans with 75mm guns. The Panzers also have 75mm guns. And then we're just going to see if they can win against each other. Let's see who wins, though. Now, when I press start, nothing's going to happen because they don't see each other. First, we just need to move up the tanks and the men. So, when you hover over the men and the tank at the same time, the men are going to be assigned to follow that tank. If you don't want the men to follow the tank, I'll do just left click and then right click. But the men are still following it.
Got it, sir.
That's because you just need it. Oh. If you wanted to remove the men from following the tank, all you need to do is just hover over the men and just move them away from the tank. This battle should be interesting. That Panzer IV is knocked out. These M4 Shermans are managing to kill off these Panzer IVs. But it looks like M4 Shermans are winning. And this Sherman is flanking them. And it destroyed that Panzer IV. And they only have one left. Hopefully he manages to kill him off. I'm going to go control him. Or maybe not. I'll show you guys how to control your own tank in a minute. Now that we're done with that, I'm going to build an even bigger battle. And I'll show you guys how to control your tanks. The Panzer IV managed to move up on me quicker, so, I mean, that stinks. Now I'm going to build another battle with the Germans against the Russians. And if you want to spawn some tanks, let's say some higher tanks like a Ferdinand, for example, you would go into tank heavy, press elephant, because that's the name of the tank. And then if you want the 88mm, it would be the regular elephant. I have a different mod, and my game is downgraded to the previous version. If you guys want to know how you downgrade to the previous version, just let me know in the comments. And now I'm going to spawn in a few elephants. Now they're all facing this way, and if you want them to get to face that way, all I have to do is just click on them in F3 mode, press C, hold down on it, not press it, and then you just rotate with your mouse where you want it to face. And we want it to face this way, obviously, which is north. Now we need to put some tank men in there, but first I'm going to spawn in some Russian tanks to go against these Ferdinands. The Ferdinands are obviously going to destroy them, but we're going to see if they can win against the whole Russian front of T-34s and ISs and all that good stuff. Let's spawn in some T-34 1s. Now we're going to spawn in some T-34 85s, but you won't see them down here. They're called T-34_3s. Those are the T-34 85s. Now we're going to spawn a couple ISs. Those are in the tank heavy section. Let's say we're just going to spawn, let's spawn an IS-3. And now we have our battle set up. But we need some more Russian tanks to go against these powerful Ferdinands. How are we going to do that? First, left click, hover over the tanks, then you will Control C. Just like copying and pasting words, Word documents, I guess. And then Control V to paste them. And there, now I got double the amount of Russian T-34 1s. And then we're going to do the same for the T-34 85s. Left click, hover, Control C, and then Control V. And same with the IS-3. Control C, Control V. Don't forget to left click and hover. And then now we're just going to put some men, tank men, so they can have their tanks. And then this battle will be really cool, I'm supposing. I have completed setting up this battle against the German Ferdinands and the giant Russian front. We don't know if they'll win or lose, but they do have a lot of riflemen, T-34 1s, T-34 85s, and they have 2 IS-3s with 122mm guns. And then we have just 3 single Ferdinands with 88mm guns. And they have a bunch of MGs to move off those riflemen that are going to approach them. Now we're going to click Start. And they're going to start fighting pretty soon. But first, we need to start moving these guys up. Now, if you want to move a multiple number of tanks up, left click over them in F1 mode. Then just drag over them, and then move them all up. Then I'll do the same for the T-34 85s. This battle's getting tense. Ferdinands are tracked. What we need to do to get the men to repair the Ferdinands is that we need to click on the riflemen or any other troop. Technically, all troops can repair the tanks, but I technically say riflemen can repair tanks. So if we want to do that, we right-click on, or left-click, not right-click. Then there's a little settings menu on the bottom right in F1 mode. And there should be a setting with the wrench. The wrench means repair, and we want to left-click on the tank to repair it, or right click. It's possibly left click. Let's do it. Now the men are repairing the tanks because their tracks are destroyed, and then they can get back up and moving again. T-34 is pushing that dead body. We're going to see if we can get these T-34s to flank. They're trying to make a flank. Let's see if it works. Oh, that Ferdinand on the left sees him. He's making a move. His engine gets damaged. We need a rifleman to repair it.
Jawohl.
And he has exploded that T-3485 with the ammo. One Ferdinand is knocked out. If you want to control your own tank, all you have to do is just left click on it and then press E to control it. Then we're going to shoot at the size 3 over here. He's not spotted. We're going to shoot at this pesky T-3485. It's all quiet. Not for long. Come on, all we need to do is just repair this. ×5 speed. If you want to go to ×5 speed, all you do is just press backspace. And then you can just click on 5. And then it'll forward. Now the tank is repaired. Back to speed, yep. Shoot the guys. 3. Missed. But I need to shoot here again because that's where he is. Come on, fire again. He's right there. He's right there. We're going to destroy the size 3. Destroyed.
Jawohl.
Those are the T-3485s that we need to destroy. Our Ferdinand is tracked. We need to spawn more riflemen for the Germans. And then we'll spawn in a convoy to go help him out. That Ferdinand's knees in trouble. Destroy this T-34. This Panther is moving really fast. It's a beta Panther. It's called the Panzer 5A.
Jawohl.
And the battle is won. 2 Ferdinands were lost, but they could have been repaired and then taken back. 1 Ferdinand has managed to survive. And then, of course, we supplied the Germans with a reinforcement. And that basically sums it up.
Verstanden.
And now the Germans are going to slowly, or I guess, look for the Russians if there are any survivors. Let's destroy this T-3485. And there are no Russians left available. If you guys want to see more MenOfWar content, just let me know down in the comments. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to see more content in the future and the past as well. And I'll see you guys in the next video.